Hey, Jeff, Zach, thanks for joining me.
Hey,
Hey,
Steve.
Steve. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Well, today we're talking about multifamily investing mistakes, because we've definitely seen with the rise in interest rates, we kind of got to see who was, to borrow from Warren Buffett, out there swimming naked when the tide came in.
That's
Of
just what I
course,
was thinking.
yeah. So this is according to MSCI, about 80 billion in apartment mortgages are at risk. Um, Back in 2021, 2022, you could take out a loan, say in an area like Atlanta or Phoenix, with interest rates were super cheap, and the trends were in your favor, at least on paper. So people could take out cheap loans, maybe do it on an adjustable basis, expose themselves to a lot of interest rate risk and tell themselves rates were never going to go up, and then assume that they were just going to continue to get flooded by new folks coming into the area and rising rent rates. And that operating model in a lot of cases didn't work out so well. So hey, I'm going to stop talking and let you guys talk about some of the mistakes we see some multifam operators making coming to light now.
Well, I mean, it's an interesting topic, right?
Where to start?
Because 2008, 2009, that's where you start. At the end of 2009, interest rates were zero and they stayed there for 12 years. And over the last 2 years, you've seen all of this kind of adjustment and disjointed pricing, right? And if you have graduated or started your career early from age 20 to 25, over the last 14 years, you're 40 years old, you've never seen a price correction or anything related to this, right? You just haven't. It's gone up. And so your 10-year cycles, every modeling, everything that you do, you've never had to adjust downwards for any kind of hiccups. So when the tide goes out, you're seeing who's swimming with their shorts on, who's not. That's why we always model conservatively. And we've seen these cycles. We've experienced this. We've been on the other side where we know assets can go down. So we don't ever overpromise, right? We always have to make sure everything that we're looking at is going to be sound investment. The rents are going to cover when they both go up and go down because the rents can go down. We've seen it. Interest rates can rise. They don't always stay flat. These are all just mistakes that people have made because of, I hate to say it, lack of a better word, lack of experience. So, to me, it was just a matter of time. But I mean, that's just kind of like my jaded opinion. So,
Yeah, I mean, I might add to it as well. Like, I think it's lack of experience, but it's also lack of probably one of the primary skills, which is underwriting, right? Most people believe that underwriting is just strictly about numbers, and that's just not the case. It's about the demographics, it's about the market, it's about the street. We always kind of joke about location, location, location. Well, to some degree, that's true, but it's not that you have to be on main to main to make money. It's not that
right.
you have to be on main to main to know how to manage a property. But if you don't know how to manage a property, you don't know how to underwrite it, then your numbers are just throwing spaghetti against the wall and hoping they stick.
Well, you guys are being a little harsh, and I'm going to try to be even harsher because yeah, I think there was a lack of experience, a lack of knowledge, some bad underwriting. I think there was a lot of laziness here. I mean, there was just an ability of, rather than like having to dig and dig and dig and dig and try to find the good property, you some of these guys just found what they could kind of just find easy, and then to make it work, they just assumed in their pro forma really healthy rent increases. And then to add some margin, they just grabbed an adjustable and assumed interest rates were going low. And then they went out and raised the money. I mean, I
Right.
really do think in some cases this was greed and this was laziness. And if you got
100%.
somebody who's like, coming up with like 10 great deals every 2 weeks, in
There's something
multifamily in
wrong.
the same area, yeah, um, yeah, he's not working hard. We like our work, but I'll tell you, there's some days we're not so happy because it's hard. And if it's not
It is
hard, you're
hard.
probably not doing it right.
Well,
Um,
Well,
you hit the
but
nail on the head on one point there. If you put a model and the model only goes up and never accepts the fact that if you own real estate long enough, you're going to have an issue. Well, then then your model already sucks. Let's just put it
yeah.
that way.
Well, what about that guy? We did a video, I forget how long ago, but in 4 years, he bought over 6,000 units. And then over the 18 months that followed, he lost 5,000 of them for this exact reason. I mean, we did a video series on this, and
Ah,
it's not the first time we've been seeing this. These are the mistakes that everyone makes. This is the mistake that gets made in multifamily investing.
Well, look, I mean, we've said before, and I used to go to conferences trying to understand how people were making sense of the numbers. Trying to talk to people because we couldn't make sense of the
They never made
multifamily
sense.
numbers.
Yeah, they're making more sense now. I mean, you had to have this correction, but you have to be prepared for it. You have to know what's coming. You have to understand it. And like you said, Jeff, if your model only goes up, your model's wrong.
I think it doesn't help either that you've got a lot of people that are out there, on TikTok and Instagram telling you how to buy stuff, and somehow that's always going to work. And the
I
reality
saw it on
is,
TikTok.
yeah. I mean, look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you there's some good information that comes off it, but sitting there and believing that everything that you heard from somebody who just started on TikTok 5 days ago had a pretty interesting idea doesn't mean that idea is going to necessarily work, right?
How about someone who's only been investing for 3 years?
It's even
But
better.
yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to convince me you are covering my downside and that you know what you're talking about if you have a short track record. I'm not saying there aren't people out there with a short track record that are doing a great job, but you have a lot more work cut out for you, as far as I'm concerned, to prove that you know what you're doing, because cycles always happen. There's a reversion of the mean always. So it doesn't matter if it's 15 years or 15 minutes, it's gonna happen. You better know what you're doing.
Yeah, and I want to just end on a positive note here that a lot of these operators, there were some that really were doing things the wrong way. They're getting shaken out. And you're having left the guys that actually know what they're doing. And the other positive note I want to throw out there too is this really wasn't an issue or a problem in the multifamily sector. We really like multifamily. We're seeing a lot of good opportunities there, but that doesn't mean you don't have to work at it.
That's right.
You still have to work hard.
That's
So I
right.
do want to leave on that positive note that some of the folks that shouldn't have been in this business aren't going to be, which is a good thing for investors. And also the positive note that this is a sector we see a lot of good things about. And quite frankly, some of these properties that weren't modeled properly coming to market creates opportunities for folks like us, and we like
Well,
that
Opportunity.
too.
you beat me to the point. I was going to say, look, if you're somebody out there that's watching our videos and you've got a property that looks like it's having some issues, bring it to us. Let us take a look at it. See if we can't help, turn it around or buy it and turn it around. So, there's plenty of options. I think to some degree, it doesn't mean that everybody has to be sitting out there in the cold trying to figure out how to make these work. You know, so ask us questions. That's what we're here for.
Great. Hey, on that note, visit our website, selectfincap.com, register for our free newsletter, and to take a look at commercial real estate opportunities, possibly a multifamily opportunity we get a great price on because we buy from somebody who didn't know how to model things. Um, Give us a
Don't be
thumbs
so
up.
snarky, Steve.
Hey, there's opportunity everywhere, Jeff, right? Um, Thanks for viewing the videos, guys. And thanks for your thinking.
Thanks, Steve.
Take care.